It started with a sound deep, loud, and too close. Liam dropped his coffee mug. It shattered across the wooden cabin floor. He didn't move. His eyes were wide, staring at the front door. Outside, the cold wind whispered through the trees. But under the wind, something else echoed. A long howl. Not a wolf. Not even close. It sounded heavier, deeper. It didn't belong to any creature Liam had ever heard in these forests. And Liam had lived alone here for over 3 years, far from towns, roads, and people. He stepped slowly toward the door and reached for the hunting rifle hanging by the wall. His hands were shaking. The howling stopped. Silence took over, too. Silent for the deep woods. No bugs, no owls, not even the wind anymore. Liam pulled the door open. There was nothing but darkness and snow. The moon lit a pale path across the trees. His porch was empty. He stepped outside, boots crunching against frozen boards. Then he saw it. Blood, a trail of it. Fresh, steaming in the cold. It came from the woods and ended at the edge of his porch. And there, lying across the old firewood pile, was a deer. Dead. Neck snapped. No bite marks. No struggle. Just left there. Like a gift. Liam stood frozen. He hadn't hunted that deer. He hadn't heard a fight. It hadn't run. It had been placed there. Something had brought it to him. He looked out toward the dark trees, scanning for any shapes, any eyes. His breath showed white in the cold air. Nothing moved. But he knew something had been out there. Something big. Something watching. Liam dragged the deer inside. He didn't know why. Maybe instinct. Maybe fear. Maybe some strange voice in his head that whispered, "Don't be rude." The next morning, Liam checked for tracks. There were some. But not like any animal he knew. The snow had strange patterns, huge paw prints, but they looked almost human, like someone had walked on 2 feet, but with wide pads and claws. He followed the trail until it vanished into a rocky hill that was deep into the forest, past his normal path. Liam didn't go farther. Not yet. That night, he set out some meat on a plate. Cooked. Fresh. He placed it on the porch. More out of curiosity than kindness. At midnight, the howl came again. Long. Lonely. He stayed by the window but couldn't see anything. In the morning, the plate was clean. Licked clean. Not a crumb left. Liam kept a notebook. He started writing down the dates, the howls, the gifts, the food. The same thing happened again 3 days later. This time it wasn't a deer, it was a rabbit. Placed gently on the step. Still warm. The visits became regular. Every few days, something was left. In return, Liam left something too. Cooked meat. Bones. A jacket once. It disappeared the next night, but he still never saw her. Not until the night it snowed hard, and the wind slammed his cabin door open. He grabbed his rifle and stepped out into the storm. Snow fell sideways. His light barely reached the edge of the porch. Then he saw her. She stood on 2 legs. Tall, maybe 7 feet. Covered in thick silver fur, long arms, clawed hands. But her face was not like a wolf. It was part human. Not fully, but enough to scare him. Enough to confuse him. Sharp cheekbones, glowing yellow eyes, and a mouth that seemed too soft for a monster. She didn't growl. She didn't move. She just looked at him. Her chest was rising fast like she'd been running. Her fur was wet, her hands scraped. She held nothing, but something in her eyes said she had come to him for a reason. Liam lowered his rifle. He didn't know why. Something about her eyes. They didn't look wild. They looked lost, tired, like she had fought 100 battles just to reach his door. The wind howled behind her. She let out a low, short sound, not a full howl, almost like a breath. Then she turned and ran, disappeared into the storm. but before she vanished completely, she looked back once. Only once. Liam didn't sleep that night, and the next day, something new sat on the porch. Not food, not an animal. It was a necklace, made of bones, carefully shaped, worn. And at the center was a single metal ring, a wedding ring, his wife's, the one he had lost 5 years ago in a fire, the one that should have melted. Liam stared at the ring. He didn't pick it up right away. His hands trembled as he knelt down and looked at it closely. It was dirty, a little bent, but the small engraving inside was still there. Forever. That was his. That was the ring he gave her. The one he buried under ashes and twisted metal 5 years ago when the cabin caught fire. But how? He looked around, heart beating like a drum. The forest was quiet. Too quiet again. Snow lay untouched around the cabin. No footprints. No signs. Except the ring and the necklace made of bones. Each piece was shaped and smooth like someone had spent hours polishing them. This wasn't some wild animal's work. This was careful. Human. Like. Liam stood, holding the necklace in one hand and the ring in the other. He felt something stir deep in his chest. Fear, yes, but also something else. Something older. Like a connection. A whisper from the woods. That night, he didn't leave food. He didn't light the porch lamp. He waited. Midnight passed. No howl came. But just before dawn, Liam heard something light on the porch. Not claws. Not paws. Footsteps. He opened the door. She stood there again. This time, not far. Just 5 feet away. The snow clung to her fur, and her chest rose and fell slowly. Her eyes locked on the ring in his hand. He didn't speak. Just held it out. She stepped closer. Her feet were strange, half paw, half foot. Heavy, wide, strong. But her legs moved with grace. She reached out slowly. Her hand was large, clawed but not dirty or wild. The claws looked sharpened, clean. Her fur near the wrists had tiny beads tied into it. She touched the ring with one finger, then pointed to his chest. Then her own. Liam blinked. You want me to keep it? He asked softly. She didn't speak. She only stared. Then slowly, she crouched low, right on his porch, and laid down like a dog. But it wasn't like a dog at all. Her eyes stayed on him the whole time. She was offering peace. Trust. Liam didn't know what to do. So he walked slowly back inside. She didn't follow. She stayed on the porch all night. In the morning, she was gone. But her shape was still there. In the snow. Like she had stayed till sunrise. That same day, Liam checked the forest again. This time he followed the paw prints for over a mile. Deeper than he ever dared to go before. And there he found something strange. A clearing. It wasn't empty. It was a kind of camp. A nest made of branches, furs, leaves, and hanging bones. Everything was shaped carefully. Around it were carvings on trees, rocks, even on bones. Symbols. Some looked like stars. Some looked like wolves. Some looked like humans holding hands. With creatures. She had built it. It was hers. He didn't touch anything. But on the largest rock, he found something chilling. A carving of his cabin. Clear. Exact. She had been watching him for a long time. When Liam returned home, she was there again. This time standing. Waiting. She held something in her hand. A book, one of his old burned journals. The corner was blackened, but the pages inside were mostly fine. He took it from her gently. How did you find this? He whispered. She didn't answer. But she stepped forward. Closer. She sniffed the air near him. Then leaned her forehead to his chest. Softly. Slow. Liam stood still. Every hair on his body stood straight. She wasn't wild. She wasn't beast. She was trying to remember something. Or maybe trying to show him she remembered him. He lifted a hand, slowly, Carefully, she didn't flinch. He touched her hair. It was thick, warm, smooth. She made a low hum, then turned and ran back into the trees. Liam stood in the snow for a long time, holding his journal in the ring. Something had changed. She wasn't just watching anymore. She was getting closer. Whatever she was trying to say, she wanted him to understand it very soon. Liam couldn't stop thinking about her. He tried reading the journal she brought him. The pages were old, but most of his notes were still there. He had written about the fire, about losing his wife, about the nights he cried alone in the dark. She had read these pages. She knew his pain. That night, Liam left a blanket outside, just in case she came again. Just in case she wanted to stay longer. He didn't know if she would use it, but it felt right. She came at midnight. He watched from the window as she stepped onto the porch, slower than before. She looked at the blanket, then at the door, then back at the trees. She sat down, but didn't use the blanket. She stared at the door for a long time. Liam couldn't take it anymore. He opened it. She looked up, surprised but didn't move. He stepped outside, holding 2 mugs of warm broth. One for him, one for her. She tilted her head, confused. "It's not meat," Liam said softly, "but it's warm." She reached for it slowly. Her claws tapped against the mug, but she held it, without spilling. She sniffed it, then sipped. Her ears twitched. She liked it. They sat there together, a man and a creature neither could name. Snow fell around them. The wind whispered in the trees. But between them, everything felt still. Liam watched her from the side. Her face was strong, but soft at the edges. Her eyes were always searching, always thinking. Not like an animal, more like a woman trapped in a body she didn't choose. After a while, she looked at him. Then she opened her mouth. No words came. Only a low, growling sound. But then she touched her chest with her clawed hand. "Raka," she said. Liam blinked. "Is that your name?" She nodded once. He smiled. "Raka." She made a soft sound, pleased. Then she pointed to him. "Liam," he said. She repeated it slowly, carefully. "Oh, Not perfect, but close." She touched her chest again. "Raka." Then touched his chest. Then she pointed to the sky, and then to her own heart. Liam didn't understand. She tried again, pointed to herself, then to him. Then drew a circle in the air with her claw. "Bond?" he asked. She looked unsure. Then she touched the ring on his finger. Liam stared. "You think we're connected?" he asked quietly. She didn't answer with words. She just leaned forward and gently placed her head on his shoulder, like it was the most normal thing in the world. They stayed like that for a long time. The next day, Liam tried something new. He brought out a small notebook and drew simple pictures. A tree, a cabin, a wolf, a man. He pointed and said the words slowly. She watched him carefully. Her yellow eyes locked on his hand. Then she took the pencil and drew something he didn't expect, a human baby. Then she circled it with a symbol, a moon, and pointed to herself. Liam stared. She pointed to the baby again. Then to him. His mouth went dry. "You want a child?" She didn't say anything, just looked at him, waiting. Then stood and walked back into the forest. No more gifts. No more howls. Just silence. But now Liam had more questions than ever. Why him? Why now? And what did she mean by that symbol? The moon? Was it something sacred to her kind? Or was time running out? He didn't know it yet. But something ancient was about to wake up in the forest. Something that would change everything. Asterisk. Liam didn't sleep well. He kept hearing her voice in his head. Raka. The way she said it. Soft, careful, like she had never spoken her name to anyone before. And the drawing she made, the baby under the moon, stayed in his mind. What did it mean? Was she asking for something or warning him? For the next 2 days she didn't come back. The porch was empty. The forest was silent. No tracks. No howls. He missed her. He didn't understand why, but he did. Liam tried to go on with his day. He chopped wood, repaired tools, read old books. But every few minutes, his eyes went to the tree line. Then, on the third night, he heard it. Not a howl. A scream. High, sharp, and painful. Liam jumped to his feet and grabbed his rifle. He ran toward the sound, deeper into the woods, past the trees. He had always avoided. He didn't care about fear anymore. Something was wrong. He found broken branches. Blood in the snow. Fur. But not Raka-us. It was darker. And there were claw marks on the trees, huge ones. Then he heard growling. Not one creature. Many. Liam dropped to the ground and crawled forward. In a small clearing, he saw them. 3 creatures. Bigger than Raka. Thicker fur. Red eyes. Scarred faces. And in the middle, Raka. She was on one knee, bleeding from her shoulder. Her claws were out, her teeth bared, but she was tired. Her chest rose and fell too fast. One of the beasts lunged at her. Liam didn't think. He fired. The shot cracked through the trees. The creature dropped. The others turned. Liam ran forward, yelling, "Get away from her!" He fired again, missed. Second beast growled and charged. Raka moved fast, too fast for someone hurt. She jumped between Liam and the creature, took the hit full force, and clawed across its chest. It screamed. Then all of them ran into the woods. Gone. Liam dropped his rifle and ran to her. She was on her hands and knees, shaking. Blood covered her arm. Her breath came in gasps. "It's okay," he whispered. "You're okay." She looked at him, dazed, then reached up and touched his face. Her hand was warm, even through the blood. "You saved me," he said. She didn't reply, but her eyes were full of something he hadn't seen before. Fear. Not of the beasts. Of losing him. He helped her stand. She was heavy, but she let him support her. They walked back to the cabin slowly, one step at a time. Inside, he cleaned her wounds. Her skin under the fur was strange thick, but soft. He used warm water, a clean cloth, and wrapped the deep cut on her side. She didn't flinch. Just stared at him the whole time. "You could have run," he said. "But you didn't." She shook her head slowly. She touched his heart, then hers, then drew a circle again. "You chose me," he whispered. She nodded. Liam sat beside her. On the floor, she leaned into him, tired and quiet. Her body was strong, but he could feel the weakness in her breath. "You said we were bonded," he said, "but I still don't understand." She reached for his notebook again and drew fast. This time, it was clear. A full moon, a female wolf, a male human, child between them. Then she pointed to her belly. Then to the moon again, and then she placed her hand over his heart. Liam understood. She had come to him not by accident. She was searching for one human, a mate. And her kind could only bond under the moon during a time that only came once every cycle. She didn't just want him. She needed him. And now the others knew. The others wanted to stop it, but she had chosen Liam, and the time was almost here. The next night, the full moon rose. It was bigger than usual. Bright white light spilled across the trees, across the snow, across the roof of Liam's cabin. Everything felt still, heavy, like the world was holding its breath. Inside the cabin, Raka rested by the fireplace. Her wounds were healing fast, too fast for any normal creature. Her body was strong, but she didn't move much. She just watched Liam. She had barely spoken since the fight. Just quiet sounds, slow movements. But her eyes said everything. She was waiting. Liam sat across from her, staring into the fire. His mind was a storm. She had drawn the child again. She had shown him the moon, her body, her kind. Only bonded during the full moon. Only once, maybe for life. He didn't understand the science. He didn't need to. He understood her. She had been watching him for months, bringing him food, leaving gifts, learning his ways, studying his face, his voice, his pain. She chose him. Now she had risked her life for him. Liam stood up and walked to her slowly. She looked up at him. She didn't rise. She didn't speak. He knelt beside her. I don't know your past, he said softly. I don't know what you lost, or how you found me. But I know this. He reached for her hand, huge, clawed, and trembling slightly. I'm not afraid of you anymore. She leaned forward slowly and pressed her forehead to his. They stayed like that. No words. Just warmth. Then a sound broke the peace. A sharp cry. From the forest. Liam stood quickly and grabbed his rifle. Raka growled low, deep in her throat. She stood up too, her body tall and ready. The firelight shimmered against her silver fur. She looked fierce again, but this time, not wild. Protective. Liam opened the cabin door. 3 shapes moved through the trees. Not beasts, not animals. Werewolves like her, but different. Their fur was darker, faces more cruel. They didn't hide. They came forward boldly, eyes glowing red. Raka stepped in front of Liam. One of them snarled in their own tongue. Harsh, fast, angry. Raka growled back. They circled slowly, like wolves before a hunt. Liam raised his rifle. Get back, he shouted. One of them lunged. Raka leapt first. The fight exploded. Claws flashed. Snow flew. Growls filled the night. Liam fired once, twice. One creature dropped, screaming. Another turned and came at him. Then Raka tackled it. They rolled through the snow, crashing into the trees. Liam watched in fear and awe. She wasn't just fighting. She was protecting him. She was faster, smarter. Her claws moved with purpose, but she was still wounded. The third beast grabbed her from behind, slamming her to the ground. Liam shouted, "No!" He ran forward, swinging the butt of his rifle hard into the beast's head. It turned, ready to kill him. Then Raka sank her claws into its throat. It dropped. Dead. Silence. Snow fell again. Raka dropped to her knees, panting, blood-covered. Her arms, one of her legs was badly cut. Liam rushed to her side. Stay with me, he said. You're okay. She looked at him. Her eyes burned gold in the moonlight. Then she touched his chest, pressed her hand firmly. She was weak, and the moon was almost at its peak. If he wanted to accept her, it had to be now. Liam didn't speak. He just knelt beside her, wrapped his arms around her, and held her close. She let out a soft sound, not a growl. A breath. Relief. Outside, the snow kept falling. The moon kept shining. And deep in the woods, no more creatures moved. They had. One. Together. But one thing was still left to finish. And it would happen under the light of the full moon. Liam lit a second fire inside the cabin. The cold was deep now. But it wasn't just the weather. Raka lay on the floor near the fireplace, her breath soft but slow. Her fur was soaked in blood, some hers, some from the fight. Liam had done everything he could. Cleaned her wounds, wrapped her leg, fed her broth. She didn't speak. She didn't growl. She just watched him. Her eyes were calm. The moon outside was still full, hanging high, glowing bright through the window. Liam sat beside her. She reached for his hand. He held it tightly. You're safe now, he said. Her lips parted. She tried to speak. No words came. Only a low sound like a hum. But then she touched her stomach. Slowly, softly. Liam blinked. She smiled faintly. I don't understand, he whispered. She moved her hand again, drew a circle on the wooden floor, then pointed to the window. The moon, then to him, then to her, then her belly. Liam's breath caught. In his throat? You mean, it worked? She blinked once, a yes, a full, silent yes. She had chosen him, and under the moon, she had bonded, and now, life had begun. Liam didn't know if it was magic or biology, but something ancient had passed between them. Something real. Something powerful. She was carrying his child. Half-human, half-werewolf. Something new. He looked at her again. This tall alien huntress, broken and bleeding and still alive. Still beautiful in her own strange, wild way. And he remembered what she did. How she watched his cabin. How she brought him gifts. How she risked her life to protect him. No one had done that for him since his wife. But Rhea had. And now she was part of his world. Part of him. That night, she stayed inside for the first time. By the fire. In his arms. She rested her head on his chest. His heart beat slow. Calm outside, the snow kept falling. The forest stayed quiet, but Liam didn't feel alone anymore. Not ever again. In the months that followed, the forest stayed peaceful. No more howls, no more enemies. Liam built a second room onto his cabin. Warmer, stronger, for her. And when spring came, she stood tall again, healthy, her belly full. She walked on two legs more often, learned to say words, ate with him, slept beside him. The first time she called his name, her voice was rough and unsure. Lee. But it made his heart stop. He smiled, held her close. You're home now, he told her, and she believed. It. Then one quiet night, as the stars watched and the wind stayed still, she climbed into his lap by the fire and whispered in his ear, voice soft and warm, "Fill me with life again."